Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Once again, we are doing another speed build. This time we are doing a speed build in Strangerville. I honestly, genuinely never really use this world at all, and I have never even gone through the whole Strangerville storyline. I honestly genuinely don't remember what made me decide to get Strangerville. I'm honestly thinking it was probably just so I could have like the military career and maybe some of the build buy stuff. But I honestly don't remember why I decided to get this pack. But I do have it, obviously. And so I decided to build up on top of the hillside area more where they have like the Victorian homes. Because I think that I'm going to make more community lots down on the lower side and then kind of do it that way for that side. So I figured I would just go with the theme that is up on the hillside, mountainside. I don't know what it's called really. I have no recollection of what the different neighborhoods are called in Strangerville. Um, so I kind of just Googled and to get an idea of what some typical Victorian houses look like. And that kind of was just what I used to get like a good idea of what it to build just initially. I did struggle with figuring out the floor plan, I will say, with this one because I just couldn't figure out where to put the stairs, and I didn't want to make the house too big because I did go and I did look into what the other houses look like because like I said, I've never really used this pack at all. I think I maybe have built once in this world and it was down on the lower side and I think I just built like a shotgun kind of home. I honestly have no memory of it, but I do think I did build something like that before. But I didn't know what the rest of the houses, especially these houses, the more like bigger, fancier houses looked like. And I was very surprised because like they are huge houses but there's like nothing in them. It's just big houses that are like empty. And it doesn't make any sense the way that they laid out some of the rooms and stuff. And I was just very surprised, to say the least, with that. So I was really glad that I had decided because I had already built the what is it called? The shell before I actually looked at what the other Victorian houses look like. Because I just wanted to get an idea of like how I should do the layout. Because like I said, I really struggled with figuring out what the layout of this house should be. That's why like I actually cut out a lot of it because it took me so long to figure that out. Um, and I will say it was no help looking at those other houses because they were completely empty. And the layouts of the houses just didn't make much sense at all. I get that they were bigger probably because they do have the intention of having like more wealthier families and stuff living in those houses. But I feel like it could have been executed a lot better than what it was. Um but I also for this build to give off that like more grand look, I used medium wall height and I normally typically try to just stick with short wall height because I feel like it's harder to like work with taller wall heights. But I think that everything kind of turned out okay with having a slightly taller wall height, especially since I'm building this after we had the new update with all of the new windows and doors and stuff like that. So I really utilized those. Um, I was thinking about using the Strangerville windows and stuff, but they are just so small and short. It just didn't look as good as it did with these new base game windows that we have. But as you can see, I really struggled with doing the upper level floor plan there, so I just cut the rest of my struggle out, and I just decided to move the stairs closer to the front of the door because that was another issue that I was having is I just didn't know where exactly where to put the stairs and where to like kind of keep everything and what rooms should be where. So, but I think the layout that I did end up working with was actually pretty good because I wanted it to be a proper family home where it's like, you know, your main bedroom, but then like at least two, not just one extra bedrooms and at least two bathrooms so it's like big enough for like a proper family and not like super small, but I didn't want to make it where the rooms were really empty and bare. So I think that I did pretty well, and I was going into it initially with the intention of trying to use a good bit of the new update items, I guess you would call them. Because I really do like these new cabinets. I think they're really nice. I will say I would love new appliances, especially when you have packs like this. This pack did not come with any sort of kitchen situation added to it. It just mainly has a lot of stuff to go with the Strangerville storyline. So it doesn't have that much furniture to begin with. And so like it would be nice to have had some new fridges and stoves along with the update because I feel like especially with trying to use a limited amount of packs, it's a struggle sometimes to just get the basics, which kitchens and bathrooms are basics, and a lot of packs don't have those basics. So I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. But I think overall there are a lot of nice items in general with this new update. Obviously, another thing that is big news as of last week is the new pack that's coming out, the businesses and hobbies pack. I will say I'm very excited for the pack because I love the idea of being able to have a house and a business together because I think it's just so much more realistic if you want to have like your own business. A lot of people sometimes, especially when you're first getting started, you're running it through your own home and stuff like that. Especially like I know like I grew up, my grandparents, they had a shop in their house. It was like literally like in the basement level of their home. It had like a shop, and I think the people that own it to this day actually run a shop through it because I think that's literally how the house was made, is with the intention of it being a shop along with a regular schmegular house. And so I just really like the idea of that, and I think that would just make it so much more convenient when you are trying to run a business to have it in your own home so you're not constantly having to travel to different lots and everything like that. But I will say, I am a little disappointed that it's called businesses and hobbies, plural, but literally the only two new, like, hobby esque things, obviously, are tattooing and pottery making. And so I feel like, I mean, at least thus far, that's the only thing that they've really shown us as far as hobbies, really, that's going to be added. And so I'm slightly disappointed in that because I feel like if you're using the word hobbies as in plural, multiple, it should be like a couple of different things, not just two. But I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that it's not super, super buggy. And I hope that, it's actually going to live up to the hype that is this new pack. But I will say I am very excited to be able to even just the idea of being able to build little shops along with houses, I think will be really fun because I really enjoy building with like the for rent stuff, with just being able to build, multi-family homes and everything like that. I really like that because again, I just think it's realistic. Like a lot of people live in towns and cities and stuff like that that have those kind of aspects. Like I know where I live, pretty much majority of houses in our downtown area, or a lot of them, are at least like kind of like villa situations where it's like two houses or duplexes where it's like two houses in one, and it's a very common thing to see. And then also, it's another common thing to see in the downtown area to see a business on the bottom and then houses on top. Yeah, so I just hope that it's works out all like it's supposed to, so that we all can enjoy it and you know it's not annoyingly buggy. So hoping for the best. We will see, obviously, next month if it actually is, you know, living up to the hype, I guess. But I guess back to this build. Um, I will say one thing that I did struggle with a little bit when it came to the medium height walls is when I did the kitchen. Obviously, as you can see, I struggled a little bit with figuring out exactly where to put the cabinets because, like, I think realistically, you'd want the cabinets to be touching the ceiling, but it also made it look a little weird because it's so high up. I know my kitchen personally, unfortunately, does not, the cabinets do not touch the ceiling, hence why my cat decides to go and climb up on top of the cabinets all the time. At least one of my cats does. And it's annoying. It's a pain in the butt because, you now have to clean cat hair off of a place that you could barely reach. But I just decided to go ahead and make it so it did touch the ceiling just because it made more sense to me, personally, at least. Um, and like I said, Strangerville really didn't have much when it came to furniture, so I ended up using a lot and mainly just used the base game to kind of furnish everything. Obviously, it does have some aspects of Strangerville in it, but I wanted this just to be a very regular schmegular family home. So, like I said, Strangerville has a lot of what's it called? The like items that kind of just pertain to the gameplay of it or the storyline that is Strangerville. So a lot of it isn't necessarily gonna look all that great in a regular schmegular family home. So I didn't use too many things. I think pretty much the main thing I remember using is that bookcase. I don't really recall using anything else, but I did go back after going taking a little bit of break from doing the build. I went back and just decided to make the cabinets in the kitchen a little bit darker because a lot of the other furniture is darker, and like I made the wood a little bit of a darker wood and everything like that, and so I just felt like it would probably work better if the kitchen was darker instead of the green. I really liked the green. I really like the idea of adding a little color to the kitchen, but I know in reality, just to be more realistic, it was better to just go a little bit darker and use like a regular wood coloring for that. And pretty much here for the rest of the build, I'm kind of just going back in and changing the colors of the wallpaper and kind of redoing. I kind of did a little bit extra in this bathroom because I wanted to use, like I said, I wanted to use some of the new upgrade items, and so I was using the flooring, but the flooring just was a little too modern and I couldn't find a way to really match it well with like a older tile situation. So I changed it from the original green color that I had to just white because I felt like that one would work better with um the other wallpaper or tile wallpaper, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of what I did there, but I still incorporated a little bit of the green that I wanted in this house, clearly, by changing the mirror and the sink to that green color. And I did make the bedrooms pretty small for the kids, just because, like I said, I didn't want it to be super, super open and just wasting space like the other houses were, in my opinion. So I tried my best to just keep the rooms pretty small. So I didn't really put too much in them either. Because I also didn't want this to be like 100 simoleons. I wanted it to be pretty affordable, where it's like, after working a little bit, your Sims could probably afford to get into this house and move into this house. So I didn't want it to, break the bank by any means. So I think I was able to get it right around 50,000 simoleons. It's a little bit more than what I wanted because I was looking more to stay around like 30 or 40, but I think 50 is still pretty good. I don't know how expensive the other houses are because I didn't really look at that because I was just in utter shock at what they looked like in general. So I really wasn't paying attention to how much they actually cost. But I think mine obviously still is probably on the cheaper end because I also wasn't trying to use super, super expensive furniture. I think some of the furniture I used is a little bit pricey, but like I still was trying to keep it towards like the lower end as far as cost in general, anyways. Um, but like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of decorations and stuff here and there just to kind of fill up the room and make the rooms look a little bit more lived in. I really struggled with this room because I was just like, I wasn't sure what to put in it to kind of give it any decoration and stuff like that. But here soon, I think I will be going and doing the landscaping. I did want to put some sort of rug in the hallway, but it just wasn't fitting, so I just gave up on that idea. And so here is what I kind of decided to do for landscaping. I kind of just matched what I saw outside, so I just used that same little gravel pathway because I felt like that wouldn't be realistic that, they would have the same gravel situation, just to make sense. And then I try to find the same terrain paint that they used for like the desert part, but I don't know if I was really able to find it. I feel like it still didn't look as red to me on the lot, but I don't know. Maybe it is. But I wanted to keep it pretty simple because I did remember from the other houses and stuff, they pretty much just did like a couple of like cacti, not cactuses. I was about to say cactuses. They did a couple of cacti and like a few little shrub bits and pieces here and there, but they kept the landscaping pretty simple and not too complicated. So that's what I kind of went with, was just doing minimal landscaping, but I still feel like it could have looked better. I don't know. I just really struggle with landscaping, and especially when I'm trying to do like minimal landscaping, it just doesn't look like it's enough to me. But I think it turned out pretty good, for what it was, especially with trying to use, you know, a very little amount of stuff. So I just added that little thing in the back, the little monkey bar situation, just to give something for the kids and also just to fill up the yard a little bit because I didn't want to. I was thinking about putting in a little jungle gym situation, playground, but I knew that that was super, super expensive. So I just decided against doing that. So I still wanted something in the backyard, but I also didn't have a porch, obviously, for the backyard. I just have the little front porch area. Um, so that's kind of just what I did there, and you know, just to give them something. I also put like the little gardening stuff in the back as well. And I just added a couple more windows just because I felt like the house was like a little bare, and I just added in a couple of details just to make it and give it a little bit character. I did go out and change the door because I realized that I used a short wall height door and I kind of forgot about that. So I did change that, but I don't think I filmed it. But that's pretty much all I did for this build. I think it turned out pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked it. If you did, you could give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. But I hope you guys did enjoy it nonetheless, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!